All right. Hello, my friends. Today is a good day. Not a normal day, not going to plan kind of day, but still a good day, anyways, because I'm going to be talking about a classic car. Okay. Now, I intended to show up and do a video on a Camaro, do the whole history of the Camaro, because I just covered the topic on the radio and thought it'd be a nice little, addition. But that Camaro is not here anymore. You know what is totally okay? Pretty much anything around me I can just talk about for like 10 or 18 minutes. So, challenge accepted. What we're going to talk about instead is the Mustang. If you know me, you know this is an easy topic. Up here over on the lift is my 1965 Mustang Fastback. It seems like a perfect segue from instead of talking about the history of the Camaro, which the genesis, the birth of the Camaro was just a result to compete with the Mustang, seems pretty fitting to just talk about the Mustang. So let's do it. All right. Now, if you're new to this channel, you might be wondering who exactly is this weird little blonde girl. Good question. All right, my name is Caitlin. I am a classic car enthusiast, as you can tell. Car history is really my cup of tea. And if that's your cup of tea as well, then go ahead and press the subscribe button. I grew up in and out of our family business, which is a mechanic shop. I'm gonna zip up my jacket. It's actually cold here in South Texas. We have been in business over 40 years in downtown Corpus Christi, Texas. And it's been glorious to grow up in the paradise. That is a mechanic shop that specializes in classic automobiles. So that's who I am. All right, now it is important to paint. It's also important for me to just let you know, I went ahead and took off my boots and I am operating in socks. So if you see me sliding around, that's what's going on. Anyways, it's important to paint a picture of the times, all right? It's the early 60s, and one of my favorite automotive execs and automotive just important people in history, Iaccoca. Well, Iaccoca realizes that the baby boomers are going to become of age to drive. And he knows that they're not just looking for what their parents were driving, all right? You see, Iaccoca realized there was an opportunity on the horizon, all right? He realized the baby boomers were not looking for something just plain Jane. He realized that Ford needed to create a vehicle that was lightweight, reasonably inexpensive, good looking, and affordable. Did I already say reasonably inexpensive? Whatever. And with that, he got to work. And in 1964 and a half, we would have the Ford Mustang. So the Mustang comes out, it's a hit, but they have a little bit of an image problem, all right? And there's actually a great quote in Ford versus Ferrari, which my sister and I watched last night because we did a radio show on Carroll Shelby, and it just felt right to watch, okay? It's a great movie. And where was I going with that? Oh, yeah. The Mustang's initial issue with their image, where they were known as a secretary's car. And so to combat that poor secretary image of a car, well, of course, they brought in the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Carroll Shelby, and his, what was his best quote? Aha, there it is. Okay, because I said it on the radio show. All right, my name is Carroll Shelby, and performance is my business. So when they brought him in, this was like 1965, they brought him in to make the legendary GT350. So naturally, Carroll Shelby went about making the Mustang into a race car. And the GT350 was the first ever mass-produced car that was officially ready for the racetrack. And it was powered by a 289 cubic inch K-code engine, and I can't remember the horsepower. Anyways, I'm not gonna waste your time trying to remember that. But the option, I love this fact. All right, so the GT350 was available in a specific paint package, all right? And that was your Wimbledon white with the Guards blue stripe, right? And so many of the purchasers realized knew that the cops were like, that's the souped up, that's the Carroll Shelby Mustang. And so a lot of people that were buying the GT350 were like, we don't want the package. We don't want the package. And they weren't done with there. All right, 2 short years later, we would see the GT500 come onto the scene in 1967. And Carroll is quoted to have said, this is one of the first cars I'm actually proud of. Now, what was powering the GT500 was the 427-inch cubic, talking's hard, 427 cubic inch Cobra Le Mans V8. So this is a bit of an interesting fact. Being produced since 1964, the Mustang is actually Ford's longest running nameplate. All right, I forgot I had one of these to click on and off. Now we're in business. Okay, so another little fun factoid about the Mustang was it was actually awarded a Excellence in American Design Award by Tiffany's of Tiffany's Glass. Now, let's go ahead and talk about where exactly Ford found the name and decided on the name Mustang, right? Well, it all comes down to a young Ford exec at the time named John Connolly, who was wandering around a Detroit library, just went ahead and opened an animal names book, saw the Mustang, and the rest is history. Okay, now enough of my jibber jabber. Let's go ahead and take a look around the car. And then maybe I'll show a little bit of my Mustang. I don't want to drop the lift. You're just going to look at the Mustang right behind me. Your attention. What do you see behind me that I should make a video on, huh? Got a little Ford Hot Rod behind me, a couple of caddies, the Shark, the 928. I've made a video already on the 928, but would love to do it again. Oh, breathtaking Lincoln. And I can talk all about Henry Leland, the founder of Lincoln, every day, any day. All right, beautiful 911S that I ran out of gas going over a large bridge. Got to that important middle part of the bridge, so you just coast on down. The 914. I love the 914. Corvair, I just did a video on this very lovely, innovative vehicle that unfortunately had the old bullseye on the back from Nader. That's right. Started a lot of fights on that video. The Land Rover, already did one on that just recently too. I love this utilitarian box of goodness, all right? MGB, I definitely could do a video on that. We have this old MGTD. That was my dad's first car, and the reason that he became a mechanic. Look, oh my baby, I love that little Citroen camionette. It's great. This is a 1941? 1949 Austin Taxi. Pretty great. This is getting some work done on it. Oh my God. This Roadster. My dad once made my grandmother cry in it. Maserati Merak. I never know if I'm saying that one right. My beloved Cooper 1000 Mini. I'm sorry, not Cooper. Mini 1000. If you've never driven a vintage Mini, you need to. Like, put it on your bucket list. And then, of course, you can find a ton of videos, drive videos, etc., with my beautiful baby, the Fastback. Okay, let's get back to business. Easily distracted around here. Now, as always, I want to do a big thank you to the owner of this vehicle for letting me make a video of it, and he lets me make a video on all of his vehicles. Our family friend and my mentor, George Finley, who is an all-around badass. So, thank you, George. I'm going to paint you a little picture. All right, just picture a big old fancy boardroom with a handful of Ford executives just in there debating about which direction the Mustang should face, all right? All the executives, they're saying, oh, it needs to face right, because that's the direction they typically saw a running horse while they're watching the Derby, right? Well, not on Lee Iaccoca's watch. So Lee says, the Mustang is a wild horse, not a domesticated racer. Lovely. Now, Ford was no dummy. They realized that their competition was still looming. So after the GT500, they would also have the Boss, the Mach 1. They would continue to put out performance package options to fight the Camaro, which came around in 1967, and the Firebird. Always got to stay on your toes. Now, another little fun thing that they used to do while selling the Mustang at dealerships, well, they would go ahead and take an egg and drop it on the padded dash of the Mustang to prove just the total safety of that. It's irritating that the padded dash was the, like, oh, look at the safety of this, when it should have come out in 1948 when the 48 Tucker should have been released. But that's a whole different video. If you don't know about the Tucker, Google the Tucker, all right? Some Atlas Shrugged shit. And, but anyways, when I think of padded dash, that's where I go. Now, I actually haven't bought a car from a dealership in a while, so I wonder if they do give anything away. But back when the Mustang was selling, back in the first generation Mustang, they were giving away cigarettes with each Mustang purchase. Sign of the times. All right, guys, well, you tell me, what's your favorite generation Mustang? What's your favorite first generation performance package? What's your thoughts? Oh my God, here's one. What do you think about the new Mach-E? Yeah, tell me all that below in the comment lines, all right? Now also, if you feel like subscribing, go ahead and subscribe. If you have anything negative to say, go ahead and keep it to yourself. Nobody needs that. All right, well, it is officially beer 30 for your girl. So, until next time, bye.